So there is no doubt that the two most popular high-end paintball guns right now are the Planet Eclipse CS2 and the DLX Luxe X. Well, like, what? Kinda, right? So Planet Eclipse just released the CS2 Pro. The CS2 Pro is a different version of the CS2. I don't really like to call them Pro because really the only difference is it's coming with an aluminum barrel tip, one more barrel back, an additional trigger, and they changed the way it looked a little bit. So we're still going to talk about the CS2 in this video, so we're going to refer to the CS2 and the Luxe X because there's not really a big difference between that CS2 and the CS2 Pro. And I feel like going into the future, more people are going to be curious about the CS2 rather than the CS2 Pro. So CS2 versus Luxe X. So the way these work is that I'm going to take CS2, Luxe X, we're going to pair them up, just battle in different categories. So we're going to talk about accuracy, upgradability, shot quality, kick, air efficiency, build quality, reliability, user friendliness or usability, ergonomics, value, and then we're gonna wrap it all up and then just, I don't know, say what I think. So that first category, we're gonna have accuracy or the barrels. So first we'll start with the CS2. So the CS2 comes with Planet Eclipse's a very, very popular FL barrel. The FL barrel comes with that carbon fiber tip that's made by Deadly Wind. And they're also coming with two barrel backs, a 689 and a 685 barrel back. The FL barrels are extremely good, they're lightweight, they're made very well. Those barrel backs are extremely nice. And yeah, it's a very good barrel. And then the DLX Luxe X comes with the Freak XL barrel. So the Freak barrels have been very popular for probably around 20 years now, and the XL is just the newest creation of that barrel. It's very good, it does take those Freak inserts, so it's very versatile. So I don't want to say it's more versatile necessarily because both of those barrels we can buy either barrel backs or barrel inserts for, and they're both very well made, and I think just as accurate as one another. So in this first category, we're gonna go tie. You could say maybe the Freak XL barrel is better just because you can get the inserts, purchase those inserts for a little cheaper than you can the FL backs, but I don't know, tie. And then how much can you upgrade these things? So first we'll start with the CS2. So the CS2 you're able to change triggers. So there's a couple different manufacturers that are making aftermarket triggers. You can change the barrels like we just talked about. You can do the barrel backs, or Planet Eclipse are also offering the aluminum tip that is coming on that CS2 Pro. You could do eye covers, you could do different grip kits, but that's really about all. And then on the Luxe X, it's kind of gonna be the same story, right? We are seeing different barrels. You could do barrel tips or those different inserts. You could get different triggers, again, from various manufacturers. You could get different grip kits, but that's also about it. I mean, sure, the CS2 has little different eye covers you could do, but it's really just changing the color. So in this category, tie again. And then next up we have shot quality. This is one of those things that's a little bit hard to explain. It's just like which one kind of feels the best when it shoots. So first we have the CS2 and the Gamma Core Pro. That's been very, very, very good for Planet Eclipse. It has a really good shot quality. It's not kicking a lot. It's very smooth and just has an overall good shot. And then next on the Luxe X, we have the X-Core bolt system. That's brand new for the Luxe X. And a lot of people kind of say that it's very similar to that Gamma Core. So we're really finding, I think, that the Luxe X has a very similar shot to that Gamma Core Pro that's coming in the CS2. So in this category, tie again, because they really do kind of shoot similar, and I think shot quality is one of those things that's kind of preference, and they both shoot the same. And then kick, how much are these things kicking? So we kind of talked about that a little bit in that shot quality section. But when we're talking about the CS2 and it kicking, it's not kicking all that much. But all of these high-end guns, whether it's the CS2, Luxe X, Mac Dev guns, die guns, whatever it is, all these high-end guns don't kick all that much. And kind of like I said, they have a very similar bolt, the CS2 and the Luxe X. So I think that being a little bit similarly designed really kind of contributes to them shooting similarly and also in turn kicking similarly. So they both kick very minimally, but they're very similar, so tie again. And then air efficiency. So we've previously seen, I think, that Planet Eclipse kind of take a lead in this category, as they've just historically had more efficient guns. Whether it was with the LV guns, those Egos, or the Geos, you know, the 3.5, the CS1, all those guns have historically been more accurate than the Luxes. But with the Luxe X and this huge bolt change over to the X-Core bolt system, it's gonna be a little bit more air efficient than the previous Luxes, but still not more air efficient than the CS2. So in this category, tie. Because they're so similar, really, I don't think we're seeing a difference in velocity, or I should say, sorry, air efficiency in this category between these two guns. Between the two, it's just not that big a difference. I mean, if you have a 77 4500 compressed air tank filled, you're looking at like, I don't know, 9, 10 pods in a hopper on either of these things. So if you want to get like a mega efficiency, neither of them are going to do it, but they're going to be similar to each other. And then build quality. So this is another like area that Planet Eclipse have historically stood out, right? Whether it was when they were first releasing the Ego 5 all the way up until the CS2, I kind of feel like overall their products have been the best made, right? Whether that's the barrels, the boards, bolt systems, grips, whatever it is, I think that overall they just make the best quality products. And I still kind of feel like that. I feel like the CS2 overall is probably made the best out of all the paintball guns. But there are definitely parts on the Luxe X that stand out in quality and stuff that feel very nice. So I still think that like the tolerances are not gonna be as tight or as precise as the Planet Eclipse guns, but gosh, when you remove this trigger frame, when you take off the trigger frame with that back latch and that latch underneath the grip frame, it's a very satisfying and made very, very well. So I think because of those added like quality feeling features that the Luxe adds with that like, toolless grip frame removal, I think really kind of like in parts or areas at least nudges it ahead in build quality or like preciseness from the Planet Eclipse stuff. So I think overall the CS2 is like a better build quality, but there are some very nice things on the Luxe X. So because of those higher end like cool things on the Luxe X, should tie in this category too. And then reliability. So which one of these things is just gonna keep on working as you're using it? That's an important thing to do. So I think this is also a category really that Planet Eclipse has dominated out, right? Whether, like I said, it was with the Ego or all the way up until the CS2, their guns have been extremely reliable. I think because of that build quality and that consistency in their products. And I still think that they're the top dog. So I would say that the CS2 is more reliable than the Luxe X. And I don't know if that's necessarily like 100% true all the time. I do think that some people have very, very good experiences with Luxes, but I think overall, like if we had 1,000 CS2s over the course of their lifespan, they would have less problems than the Luxe X. And Planet Eclipse have proven that really over the past like 20 years of manufacturing paintball guns, where the Luxes have historically not been as reliable, so CS2 is more reliable. And then which one's the easiest to use? So both of the CS2 and the Luxe X do come with some very nice user-friendly like little features that make them easier to use. So like all these high-end guns, right? They come with lever feed necks, the grips come off easy, you can change the batteries, simple. They have both toolless eye covers, the bolts both remove really simple without tools. They are very easy to clean, maintain, service, whatever. They're very easy to use. But in the category of usability, I do think that the Luxe X has a tick higher on the CS2, mainly because of that removable grip frame. You really can just take off the grip frame without any tools. It is extremely easy and very simple to use. The battery slides right out the front. It's all just really cool and clean. I really like the grip frame on these. So usability, Luxe X. This is like the worst category to talk about, but ergonomics. So ergonomics is definitely a preference thing, right? Like people got different shaped hands, guns are different sizes, arm lengths are different, all kinds of stuff different. So it's very difficult to kind of like say that, X paintball gun is gonna feel the best in someone's hands. But I think that the CS2 feels the best. So I really don't like the very small, like angled foregrip that is on the Luxe X, and the grip frame is just too narrow for me. So I like the more larger, chunky, maybe even oversized foregrip on the CS2 and the much larger grips that are on the CS2. It just feels better in like my big hands. And I talk about that often, right? I talk about like ergonomics being weird and how I think the CS2 is the best, but you talk to someone else and they might think that the Luxe X is the best. So it's very important, I think, maybe to look for varied opinions, right? Like ask around, or better yet, try to go hold either the CS2 or the Luxe X to form your own opinion on ergonomics. But for me, CS2. And then value is another category that a lot of people are looking at. So these guns are essentially both the same price, right? $1,500 roughly. But I think when we're talking about value, maybe we could look at cost of ownership, like how much am I gonna have to invest into this thing to keep it running? And then what happens when I'm done with it? Can I sell it and get rid of the thing? So I think that the cost of ownership between both of these is going to be fairly negligible, right? They're both going to require O-rings, but maybe at some point, because I was talking about the reliability thing of that Luxe X, it is possible maybe in the future you need to buy something for the Luxe X. But you can say the same thing for the CS2, so you never know, really. But I think that in the long run, we have definitely seen the Planet Eclipse guns hold their value much better than the Luxes. So right now, even though that the Planet Eclipse guns are about a year older than the Lux, they're still about 10% to 15% higher on that resale or that used market. So I do think because of like the added, I don't know, resale value of the Planet Eclipse guns, in the value category, yeah, Planet Eclipse CS2. So that's that, guys. I think that there's no conclusion really necessary. I think that that 9 to 8 score is very close. I think that if you would have asked me like 2 years ago if I would have rated a Lux this high, I would have said no. So I think that the advantages, or not advantages, like the improvements to this Luxe X up to the previous gun, the Luxe Ice, are very good. And I think it's the best Lux they've ever made and probably the closest competition we've seen to a Planet Eclipse high-end gun in really the last like 4 or 5 years. If you've got more maybe Luxe X or CS2 questions, there's videos on both of those things right there, or do leave a comment below.